And one of my brothers came back from Vietnam, and he got together with my other brothers, and they put me in the American Army. I didn't have a choice. So I said, "What does your boyfriend think about you working?" And she says, "I don't have a boyfriend." I thought, yes.
Master class right there.
Exactly. I seen there were two types of people that weren't commonly seen in that time. That was women and people of color. There's someone better, faster, smarter around the corner. You just haven't met them yet.
Yeah.
And you and I are just standing there talking, and what's going to happen to Fatima? She's going to be like a magnet. She's coming right to us.
You have the energy of a man half your age.
And the Dutch society would say you're too old, you're untrainable.
So he was a complete stranger, right? And he, in a way, told how your personal brand came out.
Well, people don't realize you do it every day. You network every day.
Timing, tone, how would you approach follow-ups and making marriages work, right? It's to maintain that, and you've done that for 45 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
He dropped the fork on the floor, and I just looked at him. I says, "You're fired." Even in times like that, you should have humor because it's painful, but it shouldn't stop your life, your values, your norms.
Your authentic self, huh?
Exactly.
And I gave them 7 days complete undivided attention.
Very good, very good.
Pre-planned.
Networking, remember, is not who you know, but who knows you. That piece of paper that she wrote her name on 47 years ago, I still have it.
Oi, mashallah. Beautiful. Welcome back to Building Balance with Muhammad Ali, the podcast where we help young men build fulfilling lives through self-care, relationships, and finances. Today, I'm sitting with a man who's turned connection into a calling. Roof, born in Pittsburgh, 20-year U.S. Army veteran. He later moved to the Netherlands, carried on MBA, and built the network King BV. He's also behind the Giving Back Foundation, opening doors for first-generation students. So, Roof, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure, and I like your name because Muhammad Ali. I mean, if you express it that way, I think it's cool because my very good friend, her husband was Muhammad Ali,
Oh, nice.
the boxer I'm talking about. Because there's a lot of people that go with Muhammad Ali, but she was the wife of Muhammad Ali, and she had 4 kids from her. And I'll show you a little later about her. But yeah, when I seen your name, I thought, wait a minute, I know Muhammad Ali.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was really nice to see that. I'm gonna have to tell her about you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'd appreciate that. So before we dive in, for anyone meeting you for the first time, could you introduce yourself in your own words? Who is Roof today, and what's the short story from Pittsburgh and the army to the Netherlands and your life's work?
Good. Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to do this. I'm a Christian. I believe in God and Jesus, and I'm an Italian American. I was raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and I'm the youngest. And one of my brothers came back from Vietnam, and he got together with my other brothers, and they put me in the American Army. I didn't have a choice. So I'm 18 years old. I didn't go to school that much. And they seen that I was wayward. I was on the streets in Pittsburgh. And so they took me off the streets and they put me in the American Army. So I didn't have a choice. So, nowadays people have a choice. They can go here, go there. They could take this course. They can live here. They could fly there. I didn't have all that. When your brothers say you do something, in my Italian family, you do it. So they put me in American Army. I joined when I was 18, and I went into a special unit with tactical nuclear weapons,
Wow.
which was what President Putin talks about now. That's what I did, and when I was in the military. And I was blessed because the American Army sent me and 34 other Americans to the Kingdom of the Netherlands back in 1976, probably before you were born, Muhammad.
92.
So at 1976, I was 18 years old, and I went to the Netherlands in a very small American unit, special unit. And I was blessed because when I was 19, I met my wife, Herma. She was in a boutique shop. She was selling clothing, and I went in there with a private of mine. And I just reached out my hand. I said, Sergeant Ruffolo, this is Gene Fass. He needs 10 shirts. And the reason I said 10 shirts was because I had more time to speak to her while Gene Fass was trying on a shirt. And Dean says, this shirt? I said, no, the next. And so then, I'm like I said, I'm an Italian American. So I said, what does your boyfriend think about you working? And she says, I don't have a boyfriend. I thought,
Great move. Master class right there.
because if in my neighborhood, if you hit on someone's girl, you swim with the fishes. So
Oh,
she was free.
okay.
And so, then I thought, okay, well, I looked at Gene Fast and I said, I'll bet you 5 guilders, which is like $5. I take this girl out. This girl right here. That's her right there. See? And that
Oh, okay.
and I said, I'll bet you $5, say dollars or euros or whatever. I take that girl out. So it was a bet. So I thought, okay. And I asked her, I said, well, what do you do in your free time? And she says, I sing in a gospel group. And I said, I sing in church. But you don't want to be sitting next to me because I cannot sing. But I wasn't lying. I was telling her the truth. I do sing in church.
Okay.
And then me being Italian, and I knew there was a Italian pizzeria that was like 45 kilometers, say like about 35 minutes from the base in Zwolle, this town. I knew there was an Italian restaurant there because I went there, and I like Italian food. And in that time, in 1976, in the Netherlands, there weren't the New York pizzas. There weren't the Domino's. There wasn't that many pizzerias in the Netherlands. So I just looked at her and I says, would you like to eat a piece of pizza with me? And I didn't say, you want to go out to dinner with me or can I take you out? I just said, would you like to eat a pizza for me? And she said, yeah. And I said, can you write your name and number on the line? And wait a minute, because
Don't tell me you still have it.
it's appropriate because that piece of paper that she wrote her name on 47 years ago, I still have it.
Oh, mashallah. Beautiful.
And the reason I have it so handy is because on the 10th of October last week, we were married 45 years.
Yeah.
So I had this handy. I have it handy.
Wow.
So, I had flowers and I put this in the flowers. And so she knew that I still remember that. And I won the €5 or $5, and I took her out. And, as we fell in love, we have the same value system, which is important. She believes in God, and so do I. Her family, there's 6 girls in the family, no boys. Her father was in the military. She believed in family. She believed in gathering together with each other. She's very funny. She's very caring, sporty, and everything like that. She sings well. And so everything I was hoping to find in a woman, I found it in her. And like I said, we've been married for 45 years. And we stayed in the American Army. We stayed and moved around. We were stationed in America. We were stationed in Germany 5 years. We were stationed in the Netherlands also. And then we decided, after I got my master's degree, while in the military, I decided to retire. After 20 years, you're allowed to retire.
Okay.
And you get 50% of your end salary. And I was only 38 because I came in when I was 18. I spent 20 years at the age of 38. So every month I get like 2,500 euros just for waking up. I get a pension.
Yeah.
And so I retired at 38 and I went into the business world here in the Netherlands. And I just created the Network King. Just out of, somebody told me if I think of networking, you're the king. And that was Stephanie Ward. And I said, Stephanie, that's pretty good. So then I contacted Jim Bowes, another friend, and I said, can you make a logo for me? And he created a logo. And then that logo, of course, is what I use in there. And as you see, everything I do is about networking. network thing. And then I also put on the back that the cardinal rule of networking is not who you know, but who knows you.
Yeah. I do have a whole segment on this plan.
Okay, good.
So
So so it just evolved. It just evolved, and I got into business, and I start. Somebody asked, "Can you talk about networking?" So I talked about networking, and Citibank, a company, asked me, "Could you train our company on networking?" So I created a training program, and then it was, should I write a book or should I get my PhD? And two very good friends of mine in the business world, Buford Alexander from McKinsey, top consulting firm, and John Padgett, the top entrepreneur in the Netherlands, they said, write a book. It's the best marketing tool. So I wrote a book and became an author. And then I started the Network Academy. And then someone asked me, hey, can you bring a high profile person to the Netherlands? Can you bring, like President Clinton to the Netherlands? And I thought, well, I don't know him, but I know the American ambassador. And I contacted the American ambassador, and he told me how I should go about getting President Clinton. So then I brought President Clinton to the Netherlands, and it just started evolving. And then in the meantime, I started the Giving Back Foundation, and that's where we go into black schools in Holland. And black schools, of course, it's not right, but they category schools black when there's more than 60% immigrants. So these are kids from Somalia, from Iraq, from India, from either Syria or China or wherever, even whatever. And we go into those schools and we ask the teacher to give us the best motivated, enthusiastic kids, and they're matched with a mentor, and their parents participate. And then they get a mentor, and then after they get out of the high school and they go into the university, they get a coach. And then when they work on their master's or their bachelor's degree, they can apply for internship in the United States, and it's all privately funded. Because I seen that when I went into the business world, especially in the Netherlands, I seen there was two types of people that weren't commonly seen in that time, in 1999. That was women and people of color. So I thought, wait a minute, I'm an immigrant. My family, I'm the second generation in America. And I thought, wait a minute, these kids are good. So then I just focused on that, and we created, and the Giving Back Foundation is now 26 years in the Netherlands. And we have partners like Bakers and McKinsey, Allen and Overy, Cargill, Microsoft, and they invest in the program, and then they can possibly take that kid who is in high school. They get to learn how the company is. They get to learn how that kid is. Then they get a coach. And then after eventually they can hire that person. So the return on investment is already there. So you always got to, people say, I need money, I need a sponsorship, or I need partners. Well, you got to make it that it's relevant to the other person, and it has to be return on investment. I mean, how are they getting? So they don't have to go to a headhunter. They don't have to post something. They can hire that person. So then like I said, I created the Giving Back Foundation. And it's run by professionals now, and I just come in when they want me to speak or do something like that. And and then it just evolved, and then the networking just keeps going on and on and on, and networking is something that people think is very difficult, but networking is who you are. It's based on values and norms. It's based on being able to bring to the table something that the other person needs. It's not difficult. It's not for the ring knockers. Networking, you're born with a network, and your network grows based on who you are, your values, your norms.
your authentic self, huh?
Exactly. And so that's how it all evolved. So I know you said say something about myself, but I kind of owe it everything.
Thank you. More is always good. So the way I've planned it is, I have a segment on the networking, um, and then one on marriage, and then another one on self care. But thank you. And before we move into the networking, how I have some very, so the questions are in a way that would help today's young man. So they're crafted that way.
Got it.
So before that, quickly to touch on three questions. One, so in growing up in Pittsburgh, what values from your early childhood still shape you how you live and lead. So what values did you bring from there?
Okay, well, the first one was your faith. I was raised as a Roman Catholic because I'm Italian, and that's usually was. So you have a faith-based system in you. So that's important because in difficult times, I would turn to God and I would pray and my way. So that was the first one, is that you're my faith, because we had a strong faith base. The second is you got your family. Your family is there. If you come from a large family, as I did, you have uncles and aunts, and you see the values. You come together, you share moments together. If it's birthdays, holidays, if it's death or whatever, you come together. So you have the value of family. So you have your faith, you have your family, and then of course you have your dreams or your ambition that you want to do. And you could look at this person and you think, oh, I want to grow up to be like that. Or you have someone else and you say, I definitely don't want to go that way. So you have examples of what you do. And then of course, um, growing up as I did, you're in a very close knit family, and then you have a very diverse neighborhood. So I had uh, Irish people here, I had Hungarian people here, I had Polish people here, I had black people here, I had Jews here. I was in a multicultural society in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is ethnically broken down. Like I said, the Hunkies or the Hungarians live here, the Polish live here, the Italians live here, the blacks live here, and so you had a multicultural society. So that helped me in my values to be able to appreciate somebody else based on who they are and not on their race or their gender or their nationality. Everybody was the same. So those values help me turn into who I am. Of course, when you get different things, you go through life.
Haha.
So that basically is faith, the family, your community, and your dreams, and using examples of people who are like, you want to grow up to be like that person.
Yeah.
And even though you don't.
I what I hear is you were open to you were observant, and you were open to take from the different kinds of things presented to you, different kind of rally presented to you.
That's
That's
right. Exactly.
okay. Thank you. So for yeah, because these days what young people are taught is like just go with what you feel, and we'll talk about that later. So, so I always say it's not just about how you feel. You have to. There are people who have lived their lives. Take something from that, right?
Yeah, and also what is, when you talk about the young generation now, I grew up with stories that my family told me or my dear friends. Okay, so the values that you learn at home. Like an example, they teach you to, everybody knows, say thank you, uh, be respectful, and things like that. You learn that, but then when you get out into the world and you get in your neighborhood, you start seeing that. Wait a minute, it's a little bit different, but my neighborhood, if I went to the black neighborhood, Shane Kelly, my very good friends, I'd have to say thank you to his mom, and if I went to Ike Carroll, Irish, the guy, I'd say thank you. So they said thank you, I said thank you. So your values were the same. But then you go out into another community, like I joined the military.
Yeah.
Now I'm away from my family and friends where I have the values. Now I'm seeing the values of somebody else. And now I'm going to try to say, is that a value that I want? Because that's a little different than I am used to. So then you're going to have to like merge and figure out, do I want to take that value with me or not? And what happens, I think, now in the young generation is with the social media, they cling to someone else's story. They think that that's great to hear, but they don't realize that they have a story, and that story is more powerful than the story that they see on internet or on the social media platform, because you do not know if that is true.
Yeah.
And so you think, I want to be like that person, but you got to realize your parents have gone through a heck of a lot. Some of your family have gone through a heck of a lot. It's better to learn from them and to see that, because they're in your heart. They're in your DNA. Someone on social media is not in your DNA. And listen, that person won't be there for you. You can follow this famous person or be a friend of this person, but they're not going to come when you need help. They ain't going to come when you're down and out. They're not going to come through when you're sick.
Yeah.
And so I think that the big difference in my life was that I have close stories of my family and friends. Nowadays, you got stories and of people that you never met on social media.
Yeah.
So I think that that's the big difference is you're trying to find that you belong, and you already belong because you got a family, you got friends, you got people that care for you. Some people on social media and do not care for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it because you don't know them as well as you know your family. So I think that's one big difference when you come with the young generation now. They think they're all going to be successful. Well, you got to calculate. I always tell the young generation when I give lectures and training, I say, calculate failure. You're going to fail. There's someone better, faster, smarter around the corner. You just haven't met them yet.
Yeah.
So calculate failure in your life because it's going to happen.
And while we're at that subject, on that subject, um, it's unfair to compare, for instance, what parents were able to provide to you versus what these young people see on social media, and then there's all constant comparison between their own lives and also I've seen a lot of Gen Z blaming their parents that they couldn't achieve a certain level of success and their friends parents have, so it's they feel like a lesser child, right? In the society. So would you say it's, in my belief, it's unfair because to even see it that way, that your parents weren't able to do things for you or etc. So
No,
how do you see it?
I don't think it's unfair because fairness is what you perceive. I may see something as somebody may get punished, and I think that was a fair decision. And someone else may say, no, that's not fair because they didn't do this. So it's all in the eyes of the beholder. It's whatever you have because everyone sees it differently in there. But I think that to say that, look, your parents and I, as I think, my parents, they did the best they could. They could the best they could under the circumstances. If you got so many kids, and you see the situation, the economic situation, you see the different things that are coming up in society. So your parents, I think, I don't think people make bad decisions. I think they make the best decision based on the information that they have at that moment. Okay, afterwards you could say, well, that wasn't right. Well, at that moment, it was best decision. So between a rock and a hard plate, as they say, we say in America, you hope that someone's going to make a decision. I'm not going to say, well, you know what? Well, I'm going to make a bad decision today. I'm going to slap the crap out of you. That's a bad decision because I'm going to have consequences. If I want that to happen, I may be in a particular group of people that go and slap people. That's fine. You see sometimes on that people are walking down the street and someone hits them, just as a joke. And so I think that the decisions that your parents make, and even the decisions that we make daily, are not based on making bad decisions. It's based on the information, the circumstances that you have at that moment.
Yeah.
And then you got to learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
have
it's
to
all,
learn from it.
yeah, thank you for that. And I agree with, especially about the circumstances thing. It's different at different stages, and yeah. So thank you for that. And now let's talk about the networking,
Okay, go ahead.
and the philosophy that made it a movement. So
Okay.
when did you realize your gift for connecting people could become a mission and a company?
I think the moment was when I joined the American Chamber of Commerce. I was still in the military
Okay.
in 1991. I was stationed in Wiesbaden, Germany,
Okay.
and I knew that I was going to retire in 1995. I knew that because I only wanted to spend 20 years, get my retirement, 50% of my end salary, and stay in the Netherlands, because at one moment we were married 14 years and we moved 11 times. So I didn't want to move anymore. My wife and I decided, okay, I could stay for 30 years, but then I would be 48 years old if I got out of the military, and the Dutch society would say you're too old, you're untrainable. So I thought, let me get out at 38. I spent 20 years in the military, so I got a career. I got something to talk about. I'm getting money because I get my retirement check, and it's indexed, so every year it goes up with inflation. So I got a basis. And so for me, I thought, okay, I'm going to join the American Chamber of Commerce. So I was working on my master's degree, and I had to drive different places to find the professor, because in the military, the professor has to adhere to the military mission. I could have to tell the professor, I can't come to the class because I got to deploy to Turkey, and he can't say you can't. So I was working on my master's degree, and my fellow students in my class knew that I said, I'm going to retire in 4 years, I'm going to stay in the Netherlands. So I was telling them, I'm staying. I'm not going to go back to the States. I'm going to stay in the Netherlands. I'm going to get my master's degree, and I'm going to go into the business world. So somebody gave me a real thick book, which was the American Chamber of Commerce in the Netherlands. So I was flipping through the book, and I seen McKinsey, the IBMs, the KLMs, the Heineken's, the Unilever, all these companies, and it was in English. And I thought, wow, that's in English. I'd like to join. So in that time, you didn't have emails, and you didn't have stuff like you have now. So I called and I said, I'd like to become a member. And they said, well, you're in Germany. I said, yeah, that's right. They said, well, why would an American soldier stationed in Germany want to become a member of the American Chamber of Commerce? Why? And I thought, well, proper prior planning prevents piss poor profit performance. So I was planning that when I retire, I would join the American Chamber of Commerce and I would learn the business world. So I was preparing myself. I learned that, prepare yourself. If you're going to go into a fight, prepare yourself. You're going to go into a neighborhood, prepare yourself. You're going to go into finding a girl, prepare yourself. Know the different things. So I thought, well, if I join, I can get to know these people and they can get to know me. So they allowed me to join, because I told them, when I retire, I'm going to work for one of these companies, IBM, or go become McKinsey or whatever, or I'm going to start my own company. So I would drive 4 hours from Wiesbaden, Germany, to Den Haag or to Amsterdam to attend a luncheon or a dinner where the CEO of KLM or the CEO of IBM was talking. I didn't know what they were talking about, because I was worried about the 250 soldiers that we had to deploy, but I was getting to know the business world. So I would dress, I'd drive out, I'd stop at a gas station, change my uniform, and put a suit on. I would come in there, I'd shake hands, see where I needed to sit, see who's talking. And then one guy, Buford Alexander, the director of McKinsey, he seen me, and he was the vice president of the American Chamber of Commerce, and he says, Ruffolo, you're a born natural. And I said, born natural what? He says, networker. And I said, shoot, that's good. So I made my business cards up, and I said professional networker, and I just made it out. And I gave my business card out, and I gave it to someone from university, a top business university in the Netherlands, which was called Nyenrode at that time. It's like the Harvard Business School in America. And Roger Long, he looked at it and he says, networking, you're a professional networker? I said, yeah. He says, can you give a lecture to 145 very difficult MBA students? And I said, hey, to Roger, it can't be more difficult than 250 soldiers. And he says, how much do you cost? I said, 1,000 guilders or $1,000. He says, good. And I said, man, I'm getting paid for 145. So at that moment, I thought, wait a minute, then I can make some money.
Yeah.
And so I went and gave the lecture. And in the room was the country manager of Citibank.
Okay.
And Chris DeFries, he heard me, and he asked me, could you train my company on networking? I thought, yeah, I know how to train. So then I thought, wow, I'm going to train. So I thought, okay, I'll come up with courses. So I came out with, how do you build your network? How do you communicate with your network? How do you negotiate with your network? How do you motivate your network? How do you, all the different things. And so I've created 8 training courses based on a subject that tied to networking.
Okay.
How do you connect with your network? How do you lead your network? So all these things. So he said, great. So I started training. I thought, wow, I can make money lecturing. I can make money training. And so it just evolved. So at that moment when Buford Alexander says you're born natural, I thought, wow. And then I just rolled out like that. I never planned this.
Wow. And so the guy. So I'm bad with the names, but
No problem.
you mentioned that guy said you're
Buford Alexander, naturally. Yeah, he was director of McKinsey. So in my books, in my MBA, studying for my degree, MBA and MPA, I'd always read McKinsey said this, McKinsey said this. I said, who the heck is McKinsey? So now I didn't know, it's a company. You didn't know it was one of the top consultant firms at that time. But then I met someone from McKinsey, and he was knighted by the Queen. He was the vice president of the American Chamber of Commerce. He was from McKinsey. I thought, whoa, when I grew up, I want to be like you. And then now he's my friend, and I think,
beautiful. So what I was about to get at is that you listened. So he was a complete stranger, right? And he, in a way, told how your personal brand came out.
exactly. Yeah.
Natural network.
Yeah, because just like you said, brand, I turned the word into business.
Yeah.
And I remember what you just said, someone I didn't know, but he had credibility because, as I said, his background, he was a vice president AmCham, he was with McKinsey, he was this, he was that. So he had, in my eyes, he had the credibility of a business person that I thought, wow, I want to be like that. And so when he said that, I thought, I'm going to capitalize on it. And like I said, I called Stephanie Ward says, hey, Roof, when I think of networking, you're the king.
Yeah.
And I told a friend of mine, Jim Bowes, make me a logo. He made the logo. And I just came out into the market with it, not knowing that it would. I know my oldest brother came over one time. He came over here and into the Netherlands, and I had to give a speech. And I says, network this, and he says, and he's the most educated person in our family. I mean, he went, he got the MBA and everything like that. He's intellectually savage.
Okay.
So he says, hey, little brother, what the heck is networking? I said, that's me. He said, what is it? I said, that's what I do. He said, but what is it? I said, yeah, connect people and maintain contact with people, help people, give to people. He says, in the corporate world, they don't do that stuff. I mean, what networking, what is it? And I said, brother, I listen to everything you say. I love you, but I'm telling you, I'm the network king.
Beautiful.
So it's if it's something that you don't really and then after a while people don't realize you do it every day. You network every day. It's not special. People think it's something special. No, it's not a special thing. You get up in the morning and you network. You look at the telephone, you look at your wife or your husband, you look at the kids or whatever you're doing, and you're networking. You're figuring out, okay, how do I need to get from point A to point B, and how do I get there quickly? And how do I generate business? How do I get new clients? How do I affect people that shun me or disrespectful? That's all what happens in networking. So I turned that brand into a
Beautiful. And that's a lesson. That's a case study for many of us to because it might not be networking for everybody, but how you take your natural talent and then you build a business around it,
Yeah.
and uh, so okay, some things about networking that bother people, including me. Okay, so at an event, how do you spend the first 5 minutes with someone so it's real, not salesy? So
Okay.
even if, so for instance, even if I don't want to make a sale, I don't know how properly network, right? So what should I do there?
Okay, for the first thing, realize networking is who you are. So don't psychologically say, okay, I'm not a good networker or he's better than me. No, you got a powerful network. So psychologically in your mind, you have to set it straight. You network daily. That's one. Second thing, if you're going to an event, that's easy. Be early.
Okay.
Okay? Why are you early? When you go to an event, well, first off, you may pay for the event, so get your money's worth, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And when you're early, you can get best parking space there is, so you don't have to hustle where I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Third thing is that when you come into the event, you can look around and see where everything is. So you're getting, you're getting used to the setting and the environment. You see where the tables are. You see where the hostesses are. You see where the toilets are, because the toilets are also important to know. So now you're early. So if I'm early and I'm the first one there, and all of a sudden Muhammad comes through the door, what's going to happen? He's going to come right to me because I'm there already.
Huh.
So now he comes to me. I shake his hand or her hand, whatever it may be, and I say, hey, welcome. Have you been here before? Or I parked outside early. Come in. He said, you're early? Yeah, I'm early. Right? You get the best parking space. So now you're talking about things that are common.
Huh.
Yeah? Okay, and then all of a sudden, this someone else comes in. Fatima comes in. And you and I are just standing there talking. And what's going to happen to Fatima? She's going to be like a magnet. She's coming right to us. So who's breaking the ice? Them or me? Who's a little bit out of place? Them or me? No, I'm here already. So I'm climatized to everything. Now you come in and you're going to come to me. We're going to start talking. Hey, how you been? Good. Maybe you'd give your business card out. Are you a member of the club? No. Do you live far? Did you drive far to get here? Yeah, you can bring in many conversations. Look, when you go somewhere, you're not trying to sell. You're trying to learn and listen to what the other person needs and wants.
Okay.
I have to find out what you need and what you want,
Okay.
because then I can try to provide it. I'm not going to go there and go, hey, I'll do this, I'll do this. No, I'm going to say, why are you here? What's your business? Have you ever thought about this or thought about that? So in the fleeing 5 minutes you're talking about, I always say when I train companies on networking, I have the thing about going to an event, and I have different tips, and I say be early. I told you why being early.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can see the surrounding, what's going on, so you're more comfortable. Make sure you go into the room and see where you're going to sit, so that when you come in, when everyone else comes into the room where the event is happening, that you know a little bit more where you're going to walk and where you're going to sit. That's confidence.
Okay.
Okay? So you don't do that.
Yeah.
And I always say, follow the 5-minute rule. And people say, what do you mean by the 5-minute rule? Well, in an event, what happens is you got 30 minutes first where you have coffee or tea when you come in. How many people can I meet in 30 minutes? I can meet probably about 5 people. 5 minutes each. And I got to move around. So I'm going to go meet you, shake your hand, find out your name, say, hey, Muhammad. I can say, Muhammad Ali, I know somebody from Muhammad Ali. And I tell that story. Okay. And then I say, okay, and, I'm talking to them, and I may say, hey, listen, I'm going to move around because I want to meet some other people. And I'll be honest, I'm here to meet people.
Yeah.
And maybe I know someone there and they come to me. And I'll shake your hand and say, okay, listen, I know you. And you do it in a nice way because you know each other.
Yeah.
You say, I'm going to move on because you know I'm the network king. So I'm going to go meet this person or meet that person.
Yeah.
So I can meet 5 new people in that 30 minutes. Then I'm going to go into the event, and maybe there's a table, and I'm going to sit at a table with 9 other people that I don't know, because I'm going to make sure I sit where I want to sit.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm again, proper prior planning prevents piss poor profit performance. You got to have a plan. If I paid to go to that event, if I'm there for 2 or 3 hours, and then I got to drive back home, I may gave 8 hours. Am I there because it's cozy? Am I there because the food is good? No. I'm there to make contacts.
Yeah.
I'm going to plant a seed. I'm going to reach out there and I'm going to give you my business card. And the first thing I know you're going to say is, the Network King. Wow, that's a great name. What do you do? And then I can start talking and say, well, what do you do? Tell me. And so the 5-minute rule, after the dinner or after the speech, we're going to have drinks. So I got another 30 minutes. So if I go to an event, I can meet at least 20 new people.
Wow. And most of us who even have access to high quality events do not consciously, mindfully do that.
Oh, no. No, their boss says, go to this event. You think, oh, I got to go to a networking event. And I hate that. They're going to be talking this and this and this. No, you have to have a plan,
Yeah.
because time is money, and money is time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. One more on this.
Yep.
You met somebody. You created that connection, right?
Yeah.
Follow up. Your follow up playbook, timing, tone, and one message, let's say a template that lands without feeling needy. How would you approach follow up? Because that's when where quite a lot of people fall. Yeah, so that's one of the problem areas. Follow ups.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went to an event. A friend of mine, she has a TV program, and she's been inviting me to come to it for the longest, and I just haven't had time. And this was our last filming of her TV program. So I says, okay, Panella, I'm going to come. And and she said, well, if you want to bring some people, you can. So I invited like 20 people to go. And so we're in the studio setup and stuff like that. And I'm just standing there. And there's 2 individuals next to me, a man and a woman. And I reach out and they said, hello. I said, I'm Charles Ruffolo. And I gave him my business card. Yeah, it's an icebreaker. It starts a conversation, whatever, People may say, I don't give business cards out. Oh, that's fine. I don't care. I do. It's a marketing tool. So I gave it out to each of them. And of course, they look at it and they say, Network King, what do you do? And I thought, well, what do you do? I said, I'm a Network King. What do you do? And then they start telling me, and I said, wow, that's interesting. I says, you know what? I have a network club coming up on the 27th of November, which is Thanksgiving Day dinner, at the Marriott Hotel in Amsterdam. I'd like to invite you as my guest. Come as my guest. You don't have to pay anything. Just come as my guest. Maybe you can meet new people. Oh, thank you very much. I said, well, send me an email or send me a WhatsApp or whatever, and we'll do that. And they said, well, can I connect with you at LinkedIn? Of course, it's free. I don't care. Or they come back and they give me their business card. And then what I will do is, I know they're going to get in contact with me because I'm giving them something to be able to maybe expand their business or give them business. I'm giving, which is the cardinal rule, give. And that me, what we say in America, me, myself, and I. And they say in Dutch, ik, and the rest kan stikken. And you got to give. So I give them an opportunity to come to my event. I don't care if they come or not. It's my event. I'm going to have people there anyway. And then if they gave me their business card, and I'll come back to the office and I'll go to LinkedIn, see if they're there, and I'll link with them. And I'll throw that business card away. I don't need it anymore. I got contact with them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I got more than 19,000 people that I'm connected with on LinkedIn and 5,000 on Facebook, because you're only allowed to have 5,000. So I use technology to maintain that network.
Okay.
And Muhammad, every day, no matter where I am in the world, I don't care if I'm in Indonesia, in Jakarta, I don't care if I'm in Miami, I don't care if I'm in Warsaw in Poland, every morning I get up, I go to LinkedIn, I go to Facebook, and I see whose birthday it is. And I already have a text prepared because on the 1st of January, I always change the birthday greetings, and I have it on my computer. So every morning I get up, go to LinkedIn, and see whose birthday it is. And I will cut and paste that greeting in there and I'll send it to them. So there may be like 55 people's birthdays that I did that. Boom. Like this morning, I had like 42 people whose birthdays were on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I've done that for like years, 10, 15 years. So from those 19,600, and I don't know, people I have on LinkedIn, I know that I've kept contact with them at least one time a year. Sometimes some people say, Roof, who does that? I do it. And they say, oh man, but I've got greetings for the past 10 years from you and I never said thank you. That's fine. I don't care. It's technology, you know? And then I go and I see whose job anniversary it is. And I'll say, congratulations. I remember when you started. Boom. Congratulations. Then I'll go to see whose job changed. And I'll go that too. So I use technology to maintain that network. So from those 19,000 whatever things, I can say that I have at least kept contact with you one time. One time.
Beautiful.
And that's technology.
Yeah.
And if they want to respond to me, that's fine. They say, Roof, thanks. Roof, hey, I didn't think about it, but you're always greeting me. Yeah, it's easy. Just cut and paste. Boom, boom, boom. And then if I know something personally about you, I may say, hey, man, let's have a drink. Or, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Let's get together. So I use that technology
This
to maintain it.
now I understand, because on 2nd October it was my birthday. I received quite a few, and I've, now that you've mentioned it, I never do it. And people have been do it for some people. It is like that. They wish you every year, uh, and I can see it, because I think about them, because I didn't know them, but I thought about them. I looked at their profiles, our conversation history. So yes, that works. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
that's easy.
uh, easy. Okay, let's talk about marriage. You recently celebrated 45 years. Um, Mashallah. That's a masterclass right there. So if you 45 years, to trust me, I've researched on this topic for good for 4 years. Recently got married, have a child, and I'm very conscious. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very conscious about this topic. Um, and making marriages work, right? It's easy to get to go on dates and do stuff and meet people, but to maintain that, and you've done that for 45 years, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
uh, um so please share, if you had to name 3 habits that kept your marriage strong, what would they be?
Faith, you got to have a strong faith.
In each other.
Faith in your belief in God.
Okay.
You have to have that because, like I said, faith for me enriches my life. When I have difficulties, I maybe pray or I read something about it, and I can always fall back on my faith. So, your faith, whatever you have in whoever it is, that's important to you because that's your soul, that's your spirit, and you're if you feel something inside you, do it. Or if you feel guilt or you feel pain or your faith helps you do that and helps you maintain it. So the first thing is faith. The second thing is compromising. You have to compromise. You can't always get what you want. So you got to listen to your partner. This is my belief. I have to listen to Herma. If Herma says, okay, I want to do this, and I think, well, yeah, I don't want to do that. But I said, no problem, I'll do it because I love you. I'll do it because you compromise with me. Like, and I'll give you an example. Last night, I always watch the Pittsburgh Steelers football game, American football. I always do, my whole life. And the game. There's 3 times that the game comes on, and I'm over in Europe, so that means it's 6 hours difference from Pittsburgh. Or if they play in L.A., it's different. But I know the game's going to come on at 7 o'clock at night,
Okay.
or 10 o'clock at night, or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, so yesterday night we had a friend that was over, and we're eating, and I says, I'm going to get up tomorrow, Friday. I'm going to get up at 11 o'clock. And my wife looked at me and says, 11 o'clock? And she says, you got a football game on. And I said, yeah. And so she says, what time are you going to sleep? I says, I'm going to go to sleep at 10 o'clock. And she says, no, go to sleep at 9 o'clock. Then you get more time. So I go to sleep at 9 o'clock, and I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the game.
Okay.
In that time, I call my brothers about the game. You see that? Yeah, you see that? And my sister, yeah, you see that? And I go to bed at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I get up at 11. So I got my time, and I work out of the house on that day. The game is. Now, she knows that that's very dear to me, my whole life. So she'll say, no problem. Okay, do what you want to do. Do. But on Saturday, we're going to do this.
Okay.
And I say, yeah, of course, yeah, we'll do that, because she's giving me the time. She's taking my wishes and my things that I like to do in consideration, and now I'm going to do it for her. So it's compromising, giving up for the other person because you love them, because you care for each other. And that's it. And the other one is you have to have humor. You have to have humor. That's so important. On the 45th, when we were married 45 years, we went out to dinner. And we were there for 3 hours, just her and I. And we were just talking about what we've gone through in life, where we were, and this, and at one moment, they brought the dish, and they started explaining everything. This is this, and this is from this country, and this is from this thing. And then the waiter left, and my wife says, I would like to do that. That's pretty good. And we'll say all those things. And I says, well, hey, Herm, you know what I would do? I says, first off, I couldn't do that because I'm dyslexic. So I can't say all the things. She says, well, what would you do? I would say, get the plate. I say, guess what it is? And that's the person, guess what it is? And then I says, and if they didn't know, I say, guess again. And she busted out laughing because she knows I'm dyslexic and I can't say certain things. So I could never explain that this is this or this is that, this is that. And then the waiter that we know, he came, and there was a table behind us, and he dropped the fork on the floor. And I just looked at him, I says, you're fired. And we just started busting out laughing. So you have to have humor.
Oh.
You have to have it. Also in difficult. My wife battled breast cancer twice.
Okay. I'm sorry.
She battled it like 28 years ago. It came back 5 years ago, and she went through an operation. She went through chemo and everything like that. And so even in times like that, you should have humor because it's painful. But it shouldn't stop your life. You should continue to bring the humorous things that you have. Of course, the pain that comes in there. That's why I say you're going to have faith. Is important because your life is going to be challenged out there in the world. You got to be able to compromise because sometimes it doesn't go well. So you got to, figure out how to navigate your way through the things. And the other one is you got to have humor. You got to use some things. And humor is a key element that keeps a stressful situation down. And of course, you got to grow together, which we have.
Masha, beautiful. I first of all, sorry, about hearing about that. My mother has breast cancer. Now it's at stage 4. So it's I can imagine being so that's something that I try to practice here at home as well. It's so depressing, all the treatment and all of that. So you bring that humor in, even if you you don't feel like doing it, but it helps the general environment of the household.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's important. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. How old is she?
she's 65, I think. Is it- So and she's going through. So we didn't do chemo. We are doing the targeted therapy. So
Okay.
but I think they're going to move to chemo now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I know my wife. The first time, she used to have long hair
Mm,
down to her buttocks, and
mm.
she went through chemo and radiation. But the second time, she chose not to get that. She says, "I'm going to change my lifestyle." So she became a veganist. She doesn't eat anything that has a mother.
Okay.
She doesn't consume any alcohol. She tries to cut down on her stress, and she exercises and stuff like that. So she changed her lifestyle, and we believe that saved her because she didn't. Even the doctors, the oncologists, said that the cancer has shrunk, and then they removed it. And they say, and we believe it's based on her dietary thing that she changed, and her lifestyle. So every person is different,
Yeah,
and
but I do believe it. I do believe in that.
not too.
So,
Because I never, heck, I never knew that 8 different vegetables can be tasty.
that that's we I we're so used to these fast food, but in our luckily in our household we have these vegetable
Yeah,
that
yeah,
so that's a good thing. Um,
good for you.
thank you. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Uh, one small consistent way you keep romance and gratitude alive after decades together.
Is intimacy.
Okay.
You have to have intimacy. Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's always a sexual gesture.
Uh,
It could be a warm hug. It can be a kiss. It can be flowers. It can be spent like next week. Um, because as you know, we had to switch the call because one of my sisters passed away, and I had to go to America last week. And I came back, and um, so we're going to go to we usually do a Marriott hop. So we go to the Marriott hotel. So we'll go down to Maastricht in the southern part of Holland. We'll spend Maastricht in that hotel 2 days, and then we'll go to Ghent in Belgium for 2 days. So 5 days we'll be together. And that time with each other is intimate. We drive together. We'll make sandwiches for the drive because it's like a 3 hour drive. I'll stop. We'll drink coffee. We'll talk. We'll continue down to the hotel, and we'll get crazy in the hotel room. We'll watch a movie on the screen in bed with her alcohol free champagne, and I'll drink champagne. And then we'll get up, we'll have breakfast, and then we'll go walk through the town. That's all intimate with Makar, and that's what we think keeps the romance going because you're spending quality time with each other, and it isn't the amount of time; it's the quality of that time that you have. Um, in the military it was the same way. Sometimes I would be gone, and then you come back after being deployed, whatever, and you know that you only have so much time, so you try to make as much good in that time, and you make it intimate. You hold each other. We do different things also, like um, my, my wife will put perfume on, or I'll put on. I don't have to put on the cologne because she knows exactly what type it is, but she'll put it on and she'll say, I'll give you 10 euros if you guess what this is. And I then guess, and then I don't get it right. She said, okay, I'll give you 50 euros. And I think, and I guess, and sometimes, very seldom do I win. But that's a little way to coming together. I mean, that's the intimate. It doesn't always have to be the sexual things where you get wild and stuff like that. It's the little things, and that could be that when I get up in the morning, she'll put little card out, and it'll say thanks for last night, or I can't wait till you get home, or I love you. And then I look at that and I think, oh yeah, that's what she said last night. That's why she's saying putting this card out. So you have those little intimacies with each other, and that's what keeps the romance, I think, going.
and you can create these moments. They don't have to be very big gestures, right? it can be small things, right?
Yeah, it's important. It's important. I think.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. What did you do for your wife today, man? Come on, tell me.
Uh,
What did you do? What?
we went to a holiday, and I completely disconnected myself from work.
Wow.
I removed my Gmail. I removed my LinkedIn, and I gave them my daughter and my wife 7 days complete undivided attention.
Wow. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. I can see you got that smile, boy. You had a good time. You smile, boy. You smiling.
We did, and especially with our infant. So she just turned 11 months old, and it's like I don't I make sure I don't miss the important moments there. So that you can only do that when you're not on your phone.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, and what is your daughter's name?
Himayal.
And why did you guys name her that?
There there are two so two meanings to it. So why we did it is because I always loved that name. I named her Himayal.
Oh, you you're trying to take the credit, huh? You
No, 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 no. It's my family. So in our culture,
Yeah.
usually parents name your child, but I didn't have a daughter. I wasn't even married. I said, "Mom, when I get married, when I have a child, if I have a daughter, this would be her name."
Oh, wow.
So this was pre-planned, pre-planned.
Yeah, but your wife compromised. She gave up her name for your name, the name you chose.
This was a so there was consensus.
Determined. I'm only marrying you if I can name my daughter this.
No, no, but there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off.
Okay, okay,
That
good,
next
good.
one, she gets to name.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
That's yeah,
That's a good one. That's compromising.
yeah. So and I am okay with
What
that.
does that mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? You were going to tell me what it meant.
It means a small Quran, the holy
Yeah.
script of
Yeah.
Muslims. So
Yeah.
Quran, it means small Quran, and its English translation is pearls.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
pearl.
yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's how it is. Thank you for that.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay, okay. One thing. My next segment, which is the last one. Uh, you have the energy of a man half your age. I am 33 and I'm
Oh,
tired
man, 33.
half the week. Okay, so teach us. So you do daily energy stack. So sleep,
Okay.
movement, food, sunlight, steps, quiet time, and what are your non-negotiables?
The first is the enthusiasm comes from the Greek adjective word, which means in teos. In meaning within, and teos meaning divine power or God.
Okay.
So I'm filled with a spirit, and
Okay.
that spirit is God fearing and God loving.
Okay.
So enthusiasm is what powers me. Okay, I don't have a glass that's half empty. I have it half full. I don't let the outside world make a determination of how my day is going to go.
Okay.
I make my days good. I
Wow.
get up positive. I go to sleep positive. I don't care what happens in my life. I pray continuously. I rejoice always. And I thank God for everything I get, regardless if it's good or bad. Because I believe if I complain about what's happening, if it's raining outside or it's the deal doesn't go through or get sick, I'm telling God, I don't like what you give me. And that's not right because God has the best thing for me. I believe that the energy that comes is God fearing and God loving within me. And I have to project that because I am a child of God.
Yeah.
And if I complain or if I lose the energy, I just get on my knees and I pray and ask for the energy, the willpower to be able to continue because it's self determining. I determine if it's good or bad. And if I see something is not good, then I try to find the good in it because when I find the good in it, then I know that God is there. And I know I'm talking spiritually, because that's what gives me the energy. Then enthusiasm, I'm enthused. Like I says, I'm 68 years old. You're only 33, man. I got two of you in me. And so what I do is I make sure that I, I have the power in me with his God fearing and God loving, and that's what keeps me motivated. I don't let things gonna happen or happen, and that's how I am. And the way I am now is the way I'll be tomorrow. I don't change. I only change because of the two people, my wife and God. If He gives me the spirit and tells me do something differently, I better do it because He's telling me, hey, there's something that you need to do. So that's just me.
Beautiful. So we get the spiritual part, the energy part, the for physical health, your routine would be, how would you, very quick.
Physical, what I do is I run every Saturday. I run 8 kilometers. I get up in the morning and I run my 8 kilometers. I golf, which if I golf a round of golf, that's also 8 kilometers. I do some push-ups. I do some sit-ups, and that's my physical thing. And I do, like I said, I make sure that if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's sleeting or whatever, I run. And that gives me and I don't put any headphones on or anything like that. I just think about everything I've done that week, everything I did wrong, what I did right, what I hope that I'm listening to God and tell me what I should do, and how I should do it. And I just, and that's what keeps me physically fit.
Beautiful. And I was reading a number somewhere. I don't remember. So you do, I think 150 plus speakings a year, something like that. Uh, uh, so when your life is like that, where is solitude? Like, I couldn't live without those alone times. How do you use stillness or reflection to stay grounded and make better decisions? So because I'm assuming you would need, if you're doing that much publicly, you would need alone time, right?
Yeah. Oh, you have to have it. And like I says, if you look at, like, for me, where I go, I always make sure that I try to incorporate what's meaningful to me. And remember, it's about giving. So if I can give a speech and I'm giving someone enlightenment, or I'm empowering somebody, that gives me energy. That gives me the excitement. Somebody comes up and says, hey, Ruth, thank you very much for what you've done. That's very good. And stuff like that. That gives me encouragement. When I come home and I sit down with my wife, or wherever I go, I come home, we sit down and talk. How was your day? What did you do? That gives me encouragement. My wife goes and says, okay, hey, what do you got tomorrow? I gotta go give a lecture. And she says, okay, well, what time you leaving? I'm leaving at 9 o'clock. Well, okay, you need to get to bed now. So she keeps me in check and making sure that happens. So you put all those elements together. And like I said, I get up and I pray. I talk to God. I talk to God the whole day in my mind and in my heart, and I just incorporate that always into my life. Like I said, I run. I don't need to listen to anything. I just listen to my spirit. I listen to what God's telling me, and I just try to be a good person. I try to, honor God. I try to honor God, and I try to love my neighbor as myself. So that's what gives me the solitude, is to be able to do those things, and that gives me energy.
Beautiful. And final word to the young men listening, a simple action he can take today to build energy, protect his marriage, or find the person to marry, because to know who to marry. So if you could, in a short way, uh, uh, tell us how you to look for it, and lastly, how to grow a real network.
Okay. All right. First off, I'm gonna give you again. I would tell the young generation: pray continuously, rejoice always, and under all circumstances give thanks to God. That's what the will of Jesus is. That's what I would say to them there. And networking, remember, is not who you know. but who knows you. Because when they know you, you get invited. When they know you, you get the job. When they know you, you get an opportunity. So make sure people know heel goed, donders goed as a Nederlander says. You got to know exactly who you are, and the people in your network need to know that. And with that, hold on a second, because I want to show you something. Hold on.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Muhammad Ali, his wife, gave that to me. My very good friend. And when I see your name, Muhammad Ali, I thought, oh man, I know two.
Wow. Oh, this is gold. This is gold. MashaAllah. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful.
And see, she even put it in Arabic
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
because
There's a date as well.
a Muslim.
There's a date as well, huh? At the bottom.
Yeah. That's when she gave it to me.
Oh, wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
This adds a lot of value to it.
Yeah, I thought, oh, I gotta find that where it is because your name is that, and I thought, oh, cool.
And do you know the interesting part? My legal name is not Muhammad Ali. My legal name is Ali Tariq, but I chose Muhammad Ali to be.
Really?
Yeah. So that's how it I came about it, and he was the reason, and then it's been Muhammad. So everybody in Europe, people know me as Muhammad Ali.
Oh, cool.
So
I'm gonna hook. You gotta send me your WhatsApp. You got WhatsApp, right?
yeah, I do.
Send me a WhatsApp, and I'm gonna put you in contact with her, and I'm gonna ask her to be on your show.
Oh,
That'd be cool. She will tell me stories about Muhammad.
oh man! If you could do that,
I will definitely. That's
oh,
easy.
thank you.
Thank
I will. I will. Oh, I have got goosebumps. um. So first, thank you so much, Ruth, for
Thank you.
sharing with such honesty, such class. I'm pretty sure this candid. I don't think we need to edit any part of it. It was such a powerful, candid episode, and people would be very pleased to see about that.